Today, we're taking a look at the 2025 Daiwa Ballistic MQ LT. So this reel just won an award at ICAST a few months back. It won Best Freshwater Reel of 2025. Now, if you're a saltwater guy, don't let that scare you. Many of these reels are phenomenal in saltwater, even if they're marketed towards the freshwater side of things. Honestly, the bass market's just bigger. There's way more people that have access to freshwater, so that's why you see a lot of products marketed to the freshwater side of things more than saltwater. But this thing's mag sealed. It's a phenomenal saltwater reel, so don't let that freak you out. It won an award though. And historically, if you know me, I am predominantly a Shimano guy. I just love the Shimano products, the line of reels, the rods. I think everything they do just about is phenomenal. But this Ballistic series is one of my favorites from Daiwa. I've fished these for a long time in between my Shimano stuff. It's been a while since I've owned, some of these, but it's just historically been one of my favorite reels that Daiwa makes. The look is phenomenal, the feel is great, and these things held up incredibly well in saltwater. This is like the Ballistic EX train, so it's been, 8 or 10 years, something like that, but they held up extremely well for me, and I love them. So in this video, we're gonna take a look at everything you need to know about this reel. We're gonna go through all the specs, we're gonna talk about all the technologies in this thing, we're gonna get it up in the hand and see how it feels, and just discuss who a reel like this is actually for. So before we get into any of that, guys, please take a minute and go ahead and subscribe down below. It takes you 2 seconds. It's an easy, free way to support what we do, and it helps us out a ton. So with that, let's dive right in. So let's start with some of the technology going on in this reel. The body's always where I like to start, and if you take a look, this is very similar looking to something like a Vanford. Again, Shimano is kind of where I default to, so I just think Vanford when I see this thing. So it's super sleek looking. Obviously the looks are very similar, color combo to the Vanford. The technology and the approach to this reel is very similar as well. So the body here is their Zaion V, Zaion 5, whatever they want to say for that. But it's their fancy kind of carbon polymer type material, so it keeps this reel super lightweight. And then with the design of the body, it's the monocoque body as well. So it's one piece. You won't see any fasteners obvious on the outside of this thing. Helps keep it super strong and allows them to fit a much larger main gear. The main gear is basically the size of that collar right there around the handle. So it's just a really strong body. And speaking of the gears, this has their tough digi-gear, so you've got a larger diameter gear like we mentioned. It's got bigger gear teeth in it. It's a CNC cut gear, so it's just ultra tough, not gonna wear out on you. You're not gonna break teeth. Just a super strong drive system in this thing. This gearing system too has a 40% thicker main gear on there. So this thing is just not going anywhere. It's not gonna fail on you. Now let's move up to the rotor and bail. So this thing has their air drive rotor. We've seen this before. Looks like an aircraft part. That's kind of what I think. It's just super sleek, ultra lightweight. Think of this if you're a Shimano guy. It's like very similar to their MGL rotor. So super light. It delivers very minimal startup inertia. We'll get to the full feel later on, but very minimal startup inertia. Cuts through the air super fast and super drag free. And then connected to that rotor, you've got their air bail as well. So this thing's hollow. It looks like a big heavy gauge wire, but it's actually hollow. It's one piece there, so when the line catches anywhere on that, it's gonna just effortlessly go into the line roller. There's nothing for it to snag on there. So this bail wire is 33% lighter. That's for the 2500 size than the previous Ballistics here, and then the rotor as well. You've shaved off 16% of weight there, so you shaved off I guess that's not the math there, the 16 plus 33, whatever, but either way, the whole rotor and bail system is just significantly lighter than the previous model. And the spool on here too obviously looks phenomenal. This is their air drive spool, so it's a new spool skirt design, just fully reduces the weight significantly more. They're saying it gives improved oscillation, less resistance during rotation, and just better overall balance. And again, we'll get to the full feel, but this thing is incredibly balanced and feels extremely smooth. And like I said previously, as far as winning the best freshwater reel, and this thing being a great saltwater reel, you've got mag seal around this thing too. You can kind of see that badge through the rotor if you look closely right there. So it's the body, that's, you know, the main shaft of this reel. So basically they're keeping saltwater out, they're keeping corrosion away from this thing by not letting saltwater get in. So it's just a great reel. So there's all the main standouts, the main features, the technologies going on with this ballistic. So now let's go right into the specs. This reel comes in sizes of 1,000 up through 4,000. The reel I've got in hand today is a 3,000 size, if you look at the spool there. So all the specs that I'm gonna mention are gonna be for this 3,000. So this reel has 9 bearings, has a gear ratio of 6.2 to 1. And that retrieves 36.8 inches of line per crank. It weighs only 7.4 ounces. It holds 250 yards of 15-pound braid. Has a max drag of 22 pounds. And this reel's priced at $239. So now let's get this reel in the hand and see what it feels like up close. All right, so here we are in the hand. And this thing's gorgeous. I like the color combination. The color on the body's different. It's got a little bit of a blue tinge to it, which, I don't know, it's a little too cool, I think, a little too blue to be perfect to me in my mind to match the red, but I still think it looks great. The blue is definitely dumbed down. It's not like a bright blue or anything. So, but no, overall it looks great. The reel is incredibly smooth. It's so lightweight. The startup inertia, thanks to that air rotor, air bail situation is just, I mean, look at that. Even with that really light foam power handle, the handle's heavy enough to get the rotor spinning on its own. So startup inertia is basically zero, as close to zero as you can get. Overall weight is very minimal. Like we said, 7.4 ounces, I think, in this size. Super, super lightweight. Let's feel the bail. Bail feels super great. Look at this in my hand. There's almost zero like kickback. Sometimes when these things are heavier, they can kind of jolt your hand a little bit when you close them. See that? It barely moves. Just, I don't know, it feels great. We got a little foam power handle. If you know me, these are not my favorite on the small reels. I mean, this one feels fine. It's not like oversized or anything. I just prefer the flat style handles. That's just me, doesn't make it right or wrong. Let me know what you think about those in the comments. Do you like these on the smaller reels, or are you like me and you like the paddle style handles? No, but it feels super great. Let's hear the drag on it. Drag sounds good, sounds normal. I really like the spool. The spool just looks great. Those relief cuts look great. That little contour, I think it looks very, very nice. There it is, feels great, looks great as well. So now who might this reel be for? So when I look at the ballistic, I look, you know, things like the Vanford as well, these lighter reels. Again, it's only made in sizes 1,000 through 4,000. It doesn't press like a big heavy application. I don't think this reel is made for that. The gearing system in this thing kind of begs to differ on that. The gearing system is just so strong in these things. You can get away with, I think, a heavier application than you would think in a small, light reel like this. But when I'm looking at this reel, I'm thinking light artificials, finesse applications, whether that's bass fishing and like a drop shot application, something where you're trying to get all the sensitivity out of it, you're not throwing a big bait, or in the saltwater side of things. Like the winter time is approaching, can't get here soon enough. It's like 1,000,000 degrees here every day right now, which is not ideal. But when I think wintertime redfish, I'm throwing small stuff. I really love the Z-Man Ned shrimps in a little 1/15 ounce size, or the TRD worms, really small stuff. And I think of a reel like this for that application, or even like trout fishing. You're throwing myridines, you're throwing light jig heads, 1/8 ounce, 1/4 ounce, things like that. Redfish, snook, trout, smaller cobia, flounder, things like that. I think a reel like this is absolutely phenomenal for that. Just being so lightweight in the hand, you can fish all day. And I always relate artificials to light reels because it's in your hand all day. You're not just throwing things out. You're not waiting on a fish to come eat a live bait where it's just sitting in your hand. It's in motion all day. You're reeling it, you're casting it, you're moving it around all day. So I really think there's huge value in the artificial applications for an extremely light reel. And this definitely hits the boxes for that. So there it is, guys. Let me know what you think down below. Do you have this already? Do you have the older ones? We want to hear from you down below. If you want to pick one of these up, guys, there's links in the description to tailwatershop.com, and we give 10% back in store credit with every purchase every day, and everything over $100 ships for free. But with the store credit, $240, you're getting $24 back in store credit to use on whatever you want. So if you're gonna buy one, why not buy from us? That's it, guys. We appreciate you watching, and with that, we'll catch you in the next video.